How's it going, everyone? Welcome back. Hopefully everyone is having a lovely day. So the Cincinnati Bengals coming up their first win of the season. The Titans experienced a little bit of what the Cincinnati Bengals experienced a couple weeks ago, and that was just an absolute thumping and shutdown job courtesy of the Cleveland Browns defense. A Cleveland Browns defense that is quickly opening eyes. You said, hey, it was raining, the weather conditions were bad in Cincinnati, but it was still a really good Cincinnati offense. They go up against Tennessee, they shut down Derrick Henry and company and make it look easy. And Cleveland's becoming a scary defense to play. Nonetheless, going to this game, Joe Burrow's 3-0 against the Tennessee Titans. Interestingly enough, if one of the two are more successful franchises over the last 2-3 years that the Bengals have faced and fared well against, Joe Burrow, it's been the Tennessee Titans. The first year that Burrow came into the league where the Bengals struggled, he beat the Titans. The next year, as we know, 9 sacks, beats the Titans in the playoffs. Last season, beats the Titans again, 3-0 against them. And we've seen a little bit of something different in each of those. But at the end of the day, the game plan, your coaching staffs remain the same. The game plans remain the same, which it makes you feel like you gotta think this is gonna favor the Bengals in a big way here, because Coach Taylor seems to have this Tennessee team figured out. But as we mentioned, a couple things changing up here, if you will. First of all, Bengals 9 sacks the 2 seasons or in the playoffs a couple seasons ago. Things have changed. The Bengals offensive line has drastically changed. A Bengals offensive line, now mind you, started talking a lot about it looking better this season than it did last season, and I think it did. But statistically wise, it wasn't much better at all to start the season. It was, but I think that was the problem. The Bengals were so down in the dumps, if you will, offensive line wise, that the baseline was so low that this year the baseline was a little higher, which is great for the Bengals. Because, hey, that means it's going to be even higher down the road. But ultimately, it was going into the Rams game, there was the third lowest ranked team in the league when it came to allowing pressures. And meanwhile, Joe Burrow was the second fastest quarterback in the league when it came to releasing the football, which meant it wasn't like Burrow's holding on the football. He was getting rid of as quick as anybody, and he was still getting destroyed back there. But we've seen it against the Rams game. This offensive line seemed to be playing at a very good level. Definitely the best we've seen this season. Best we've seen in a while. Burrow was standing back there, had some time to throw the football. I think it was, honestly, and it's what you do. You got to credit this offensive line for stepping up. They said, "Hey, our quarterback's got a calf problem. He really shouldn't be on the field. He knows how important this game is. You can't start 0-3. He's going to stand out there. He'll play on one leg if he has to help this team to win this football game." And as an offensive line, you take a lot of weight, or you put a lot of prestige on that and say, "Oh, we got to stand up for this guy. We got to play with a chip on our shoulder. That's our man. You got to keep him upright." And I think we've seen that against what's been a pretty good Rams defense when it comes to getting pressure on the quarterback, Aaron Donald and company there. And they seem to do a really solid job. And now we go into this Tennessee game. Tennessee, now, again, 9 sacks 2 seasons ago. Last season, I considered a wash. I do, because Tennessee was down 2 of their best pass rushers. Autry was out, Harrell was gone for the season. And, these guys all back this season. It looks like Tennessee's doing a much better job of getting pressure on the quarterback. That pressure on the quarterback going to help the defense out tremendously. And it's going to be a big test for the Bengals offensive line this week, especially, again, with what's going to still be an injury-riddled Joe Burrow. He ain't going to be over this calf injury in a week. It's going to take some time. And all eyes are going to be open there, because if you're the Titans, you get as much pressure on that quarterback as you can. You get Zach Taylor uneasy. You get this Bengals team uneasy. You get Burrow a little uneasy. They might start playing a little bit more conservative. They'll get out of their game plan. And that's obviously what you want for the Tennessee Titans. If you want to win this football game, I think you got to get the Bengals a little uneasy. I think you got to get them out of the game plan, because Joe Burrow stands back there and has some time to the football. We've seen it before against the Titans. We've seen it against any team. He's got to pick them apart. They get a little pressure on him. They get everybody a little bit nervous, though. Anything can happen. Meanwhile, on Tennessee's side of the football, again, we talk about things being different. Derrick Henry now 29. You don't want to say it, and you do say it, though, where it feels like the wheels are starting to slowly wear down for Derrick Henry and company. Now averaging 3.2 yards per carry this season. Derrick Henry in his last 2 games against the Bengals only averaging 50 yards per game. Bengals doing a great job of containing what was once known as King Henry. But again, things are different. Derrick Henry is older. Derrick Henry is still a really good running back. Can he carry the team like he once could? It's up for debate, because Ryan Tannehill is on pace to get sacked 73 times this season. In other words, Tennessee has not figured out the offensive line problems. They haven't figured them at all. That's not going to hub the run game one bit. I mean, Derrick Henry can carry a guy 3 or 4 yards all he wants, but if he's getting hit behind the line of scrimmage, hit the line of scrimmage, it's not going to help too much, right? And as we know, it might take a couple games. It might be a problem all season for the Titans, but they might start gelling, and that's what they need to see, is that offensive line needs to start gelling, because that's just how this offense is built. It's hand the football to Derrick Henry. Ryan Tannehill can make some throws when he needs to, but he's usually not your win the game quarterback for you. They got the weapons now out there, though. Well, they've had them before, I guess, now I think about it, and they sent them out the door. But otherwise, you got to get Henry going. I think, again, you play the matchup. Bengals have done a good job of containing him of late. And you never count out the Titans, because I think this is a Titans team that is well coached by we're not going to say, the word, the V word, Vrabel Company, a very well-coached football team. And you'd expect them to get better and better game in and game out. And you never know what they're going to come out here and present to the Cincinnati Bengals this week. Right now, though, the Titans haven't had an answer for the Bengals. They haven't had an answer for their offensive line problems. Trey Hendrickson just came off one of the best games he's had in probably years for the Cincinnati Bengals. I think the Bengals' defensive line is going to make some noise. They're going to force some plays that the Titans don't want to do, because, again, they have done a great job of controlling Derrick Henry. You force this team to throw the football with a team that's having a problem allowing the sacks. It's going to play into the Bengals' defensive hands. The Bengals' defense that just slowed down a red high Los Angeles Rams defense. Those holes in the defense to start the season, there still is. What was interesting about the Rams game was the Bengals had clear holes, allowing plays on the ground defensively. They was getting beaten up, worst in the league just about when it came to allowing the big plays on the ground. And the Rams kind of elected to say, we'll run the ball 10 times this game and see what happens for some reason, which was weird, because the Rams were running the football down teams' throats. That was successful for it, and they went away from it. Now the Titans, as we know, they ain't afraid to stay up and stick to that run game. And that is the big difference here. When it's the Bengals, we say, hey, they controlled the run game. They contained Derrick Henry. But that was with Von Bell, a very good run stop. That was with Jesse Bates. You had 2 really good safeties back there plugging up those holes. The difference this season without them, with Derrick Henry and company coming in, we're going to see. Because ultimately, right now, it feels like, and they could dictate the game. Right now, it feels like the Bengals were losing these games, getting outpossessed, because teams are just running the football down the throat. But those teams were Baltimore and also Cleveland, 2 of the best run teams in the league, 2 of the best offensive lines in the league. So we'll see. That's going to be an interesting matchup for me. Without a question, it's going to be, can the Bengals keep Joe Burrow upright if they want to win this football game? And Derrick Henry and company is going to have to make some noise on this Bengals run defense. It's shown some holes, and Tennessee wants to win this football game. Ultimately, though, I think this is a game the Bengals continue the momentum in. I say the Bengals win this one 27-17. Love you guys' thoughts. Thank you guys for watching. We'll see you next time.